All through his football career, left tackle Michael Oher was known for blindsiding his opponents, tackling them from behind before they could pass the ball. But in real life, Oher was the one that got blindsided. The 2009 film, The Blind Side, in which Sandra Bullock won an Academy Award for playing the role of the super supportive mom who adopted her son's classmate and honed his talents, taking him to the heights of the American dream, could actually be far from reality as events eventually turned out. That claims she actually looked to benefit from the talented child and make money off his athletic prowess. Little Michael's tough story begins as an 11-year-old who saw his dad die and witnessed his mom become a drug addict. Being unable to take care of her son, Michael was consigned by a court to a foster home, and like many foster kids, spent his childhood being mistreated and shuffled from one home to another. His life changed when during high school he became good friends with his classmate Sean Jr., whose spacious Memphis home he began to frequent and whose parents he soon came to know.
Thanks, Mr. and Mrs. Touhy. That was a lovely dinner.
By this time, Michael's athletic skills at school began to draw wide attention, and it did not go unnoticed by Sean and Leigh and Touhy, who began to invite the talented prodigy to spend more nights at their home. And eventually in 2004, when Oher entered 12th grade, they asked him to move in. As expected, Oher was extremely grateful to the Touhys and treated them as his parents. When Oher was in the last year of school, the Touhys planned to enroll him at their alma mater, the University of Mississippi, where Sean Touhy Sr. had once been an ace basketball player leading the Ole Miss Rebels team. Being a proud alumnus, he wanted Oher to go there as well. But the problem was that since Oher was not a Touhy, the NCAA objected to his admission through the alumni quota. So Sean Touhy decided to adopt him and made him sign legal documents that seemed to confirm the adoption, paving the way for his admission at the University of Mississippi in 2006. It so happened that one day, Michael Lewis, a childhood friend of Sean Touhy Sr. and author of several nonfiction bestsellers, was visiting and got intrigued by the sight of a giant black teenager sitting in the Touhy living room and studying. It made for a great book idea about how an evangelical rich white family adopted a poor black kid from the streets and loved him like their own. The book also charted the evolution of traditional American football into a game dominated by quarterbacks and the protectors of their blind side, the left tackles, after which the book was named. These two separate forces, when they collided together, made Michael Oher one of the greatest upcoming athletes of the game. In 2009, the same time as Oher was drafted into the Baltimore Ravens, the famous Oscar-winning film based on Lewis's book released in theaters. Despite all the accolades and praises it received, the film was heavily criticized for reinforcing the white savior trope, and for portraying Oher as an academically challenged poor black kid who was saved by the Touhys. As if the book and film were not enough to sing their praises, the Touhys themselves wrote a book in 2010, repeating the same old story of their generous hearts. A miffed Oher sought to correct the picture and give his side of the story for the first time in a book he released the next year, giving credit for his success to the sport and to his passion for football, which was his ticket out of poverty that helped him earn millions. And while acknowledging the role Touhys played, he counted them one among others who helped him in his journey. The Touhys took the downgrade in their stride, and were on the sidelines of the field celebrating his Super Bowl debut in 2013 while playing for the Baltimore Ravens. However, the relationship was strained, and it came out in a 2015 ESPN interview.
You've lost a few games with the Tennessee Titans. Don't you think you need to prove your worth to the team?
People take things away from me because of a movie. They don't see the player that I am.
This was further confirmed in a tweet in response to a post about The Blind Side.
When they call you a family but rob you.
All these years, Oher had hidden his disappointment with the Touhys by focusing on the sport he loved. But when his football career ended after a severe concussion while playing for the Carolina Panthers in 2017, the demons of being taken advantage of came back to haunt his mind and his mental health deteriorated. It was during this period that Oher channelized his anger into yet another book that he released in August 2023.
The film has been the source of my deepest hurt over the last 14 years.
But the biggest bombshell was the revelation that he was never adopted at all, and that the document he signed as a kid at the age of 17 was of a conservatorship, which allowed the Touhys to make personal and financial decisions in his name, even without his knowledge. In adoption, the person is truly brought into the family and becomes the official heir to the family estate, not so in a conservatorship. A concept that was created for persons with certain mental or physical disabilities, but Oher was a hale and hearty adult. Infuriated to learn this after almost 2 decades, Oher filed a lawsuit in August 2023 against the Touhys, accusing them of tricking him and not paying him any money from the success of The Blind Side, a movie that grossed $309 million, claiming that the Touhys and their 2 biological sons each made $225,000 plus 2.5% of the film's net proceeds. Apart from this, Oher claims he was made to sign the life rights to his story to 20th Century Fox in a 2007 contract. His lawsuit seeks accounting of all the money they made from the film and his fair share of profits, and also compensatory and punitive damages, asking that all legal relationships with the Touhys be terminated, and requesting an injunction from the court to prevent his name and likeness being used by the Touhys for their benefit. Before the lawsuit, and even in their 2010 book, the Touhys always referred to Oher as their
adopted son.
Although after Oher's petition, they claimed,
"We never intended to adopt Michael.
We did this only to help him get admitted to Ole Miss."
Also claiming that Oher received $14,000 for the film's adaptation, exactly the same amount as all other family members. Validating Oher allegations, however, a Tennessee judge terminated Michael's conservatorship with the Touhy family in September of last year. Singer Britney Spears' conservatorship is another famous case of misuse, but this time by the biological father, who took advantage of the situation when a then 26-year-old mother of 2, Britney, found her mental health deteriorating in 2007 amidst a custody battle with ex-husband. In her case, her father did not even allow her to remarry or have more children, bugged her phone and bedroom, and absurdly even overruled her on the color of her kitchen cabinets. Britney battled the conservatorship for 13 years before finally getting it terminated in 2021, as Oher got his. Still, is Oher being a little ungrateful and jealous of the money the Touhys earned based on his talent? Or is conservatorship a flawed concept which can strip away a person's basic rights of freedom? You will also find these sources listed in a video description section.